The Spirituality Now podcast is sponsored by Delaflor Teachings International, a spiritual and systemic coaching and consulting company with the mission to help individuals, businesses, and corporations create brilliant futures through sustainable transformation. Also sponsored by the Network for Human Empowerment, a philanthropic TV network that serves Spanish-speaking communities with free, conscious education aimed to empower individuals to become the best versions of themselves. And our podcast producer, Ascend Media, Authority Syndication, delivering premium video marketing, podcast production, and social syndication.
Welcome to the Spirituality Now podcast, a podcast committed to supporting you in your journey to life mastery and personal enlightenment. Welcome to the Spirituality Now podcast. I am your host, Yvonne de la Flor. And as I am recording this podcast, I am preparing to give a speech in San Miguel de Allende. And I wanted to share with you that I'm going to be speaking at one of the most beautiful galleries in Mexico, in San Miguel de Allende. I'm doing advertisement for my Mexico, for my beloved country without being paid. This is not a paid ad, but there's a beautiful gallery, one of the most beautiful of all Mexico. And there's going to be a presentation of a late artist, Mexican artist, Luis Filzer, who I believe was actually born in Ukraine. And he is at the level of Tamayo, of Orozco, of Diego Rivera. And he passed a couple of years ago. I'm a collector of his art. And I was invited to speak at the inauguration of where his posthumous, after they die, paintings and art are going to be presented. And in the times that we're living in humanity, I'm a true believer that art is another way of expressing consciousness, of expressing the voices of so many people that cannot speak up. And right now that we're going through a lot of, censorship and a lot of censorship, I really believe that art, music, beauty in all of its representations is going to be a powerful voice in the world. So with that said, I have a guest. I've had her before in the podcast, but Colleen, we had you when we spoke English and Spanish, right? Well, I did.
Yeah, we did that one. I think we did this one too. I think we did too. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Yeah, you're, Colleen is one of my, my beloved friends. She's such a force for good. She's a great entrepreneur, amazing entrepreneur with spirit, with soul. She's so young, of course, from my point of view, all soul in a young body. And I like to have recurring, guests that repeat. I don't do this podcast for profit. At least, we haven't done it, and we don't promote things or get paid. I wanted to keep it really, really, it's really a pleasure of mine, and bring my friends and bring my teachers and mentors that can support any of you or all of you, if so you choose, to advance in any area of your life that you may benefit from their wisdom and their experiences. And I believe Colleen is a great voice, especially for the young generation. And, if you want to learn more about Colleen, we have other podcasts with her. Just so, follow us, Spirituality Now podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, Alexa, your robot, tell her to play the Spirituality Now podcast episode with Colleen Gallagher. And that's why you will learn more about her. But let me read a little bit of her bio. Her bio is, how old are you, love?
I'm 28.
Oh my God, you're such a baby.
I know, I do feel young.
Yeah, well, you should feel young. I will be surprised if you tell me I do not feel young. I will be like, okay, let's talk privately after the podcast. But I think it's so cool to have, to have you back in the podcast so we can go, a little bit like it's like a second episode without having a second episode. And we can continue the growth and we can continue the conversation. And I can keep introducing you to the beautiful Latin American family, which are so, so incredibly awesome. So let me share a little bit about your bio. Hope you don't mind, Colleen. So our beloved guest, my friends, is Colleen Gallagher. She's an intuitive business and personal development consultant. She has survived childhood cancer and is a global citizen and advocate for everyone to have an opportunity to live their dreams. And she's also an academic who is currently pursuing her Ph.D. Yeah, you got to tell me how that is going. Her Ph.D. in psychology with a focus on global leadership and change, which we needed right now. She's an author of multiple books, and she's 28. She's 28, FYI, including her latest release, An Uncompromised Life, and the host of the Colleen Gallagher podcast. Go listen to my episode with her.
Yeah, I was wanting to say that. When you were promoting me, I was like, go make sure Yvonne's on mine. I think it's episode 66. Actually.
There it goes. There it goes. I don't, thank God I am not a fanatic Christian that will say, I cannot believe I'm episode 66. I love the number 66 because 6 is a very powerful number. By the way, I have followers of all styles, and since I'm a speaker of faith, a lot of times I get to Yvonne, why do you like Joel Osteen? He's the prosperity pastor. You shouldn't. Yvonne, why are you talking about consciousness? That's New Age. That's not a Christian. So, my friends, I'm in episode 66 of the Colleen Gallagher podcast. Anywho, let me continue. So, Colleen's greatest success is seeing her clients either create themselves a lifestyle they love or empower others to create lifestyle careers that impact the world. Colleen empowers leaders and businesses to come to a newfound clarity of their mission so that they can better understand their values, to take calculated action to grow their businesses. Colleen offers these experiences through online courses, speaking, in-person retreats, training, podcasts, books, products. Very soon, a line of sunglasses. I'm in line to get one of those. Tarot cards, everything. She currently resides in Los Angeles, but she truly travels worldwide. So, Colleen, welcome back.
I'm so excited to be here. What a great introduction. And I feel like it's so funny that you were talking about beauty and art because I just went to the 2 nights of the LA Fashion Week and I am like so inspired and thriving from it.
Okay, tell me about it. I don't think you know why I love to have you back? Because now it seems like we're not doing the serious interview podcast. Hello, Colleen. Welcome to the podcast. And hi, thank you for having me, all that stuff. Now it really feels like a conversation with friends that people will benefit. So I was going to tell you, I used to have a magazine, Colleen. You don't know. In my early years, when I was 30, close to your age, I was the editor of a magazine called The Queens of something. And I used to bring articles of consciousness for brands like Gucci and Carolina Herrera. I was into that. That's why I always say, when people say you are very spiritual but why then you like all these brands? I said, my answer is I meditate in Chanel, so I love, I think we have, I love fashion. So tell me about it. Tell me, how was it?
I've never went to something like this. I do want to start a shoe line. So I'm kind of dipping my toes just into the industry and seeing how it works. And, whenever I go to events, I'm always going for a multi-purpose. It's not like I'm just going for the show. I'm always kind of researching when I'm there, connecting, asking questions, gathering data. Like what would the strategy be? But I really loved it. I haven't been to an event like this in a long time where I have made so many connections. I mean, my Instagram increased by maybe 100 people within 2 nights. Every single one of them, we have responded in DMs, liked each other's photos, connected, like every single one. And it's like just so exciting. And so I just loved it because I was pleasantly surprised at the authentic connection that was really built. When I feel like kind of business networking events, they're, in my opinion, more masculine transaction based that I haven't seen it really done in a way that is exciting. That's probably why I built my business in the digital world because I didn't want to go to those events and be around people in that way. So, but I loved it. I had so much inspiration. Like I I just loved it. I loved doing my makeup, and everyone thought I was a makeup artist and what, and it was like cool. I mean, it was just, you met the coolest people that are just doing amazing things. And, everyone was on their hustle, and that was a beautiful thing too. Instead of people being like, I make this much money or this much money or this, like, it was cool to see everyone actively in their art of creation,
Right.
and all the different ways that it comes forth through men's fashion, women's fashion, more of like a simplicity, more to like a over the top, elegant ballroom, active wear, like all of it was just really cool. So,
I love it, And if you ever saw The Devil Wears Prada, I love when Meryl Streep says, fashion is not only the thing you see, it carries your mood, it carries your personality. I just love it. I love it. I could I could see myself getting out of the spiritual niche. I'm not sure, but and just being a fashion geek. I love it. I actually love it. But I love that. So, Colleen, tell us about, I love what you just said. I don't go there for one thing. It's a multi-purpose. I love that you're a multidimensional creator. So tell me, you are 28 and you've written books, built businesses, mentor clients one-on-one, while you are also dealing with what the world is looking like for your generation. And help me understand a little bit and see what is, from your perspective, going on right now in the world, per social media, networking, making friends. What is it like right now for what all that is going on in the world for the youth like you?
So, you have to look at social media. Like, one, social media is not a personal account. So if you are using social media just for a personal account, you're using it incorrectly. Like, I hate to, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just not what it is. And even if you don't have
what do you mean? What do you mean? I love this.
It's not like it's not for you just to randomly post or keep private. Like, your social media is your front door to your home, basically. And even if you don't have a brand yet, you don't have a company, maybe you still work in corporate, like, your social media is it's like the front facing of you. And so you want to think, like, every time you go to network or you go wherever, you always want to be connecting with people through, like, staying in contact with your social media. So what's your social media handle? Do you have a podcast? What's your LinkedIn? Whatever it is, like, what's your blog? Like, you always want to find that way so people follow, like, you follow them, they follow you. And you want to be very, like, gracious in that too. You don't want to just be like, oh, follow me, and then, like, you don't follow people back. Like, it's just annoying. And, the other thing you want to use social media for is when you go to an event or you, like, hang out with people or whatever, you want to follow up in messages and be like, it was so nice to meet you. So nice to connect with you. I remember this about our conversation. Loved this. Love you. Like, hope you're well. Super excited to connect. And then you will just keep, even if it's inspiration, even if it's flowers, whatever it is that your passion is, bees, manufacturing, whatever. Fragrances, lights, coffee, whatever your thing is that you want to post about, like, people will begin to see that you've connected with, and they'll start to ask questions, and they'll want to be part of what you're doing more and more and more. And so social media it's not a tool just for you to use. It is a way for you to build connection and community. And so if you are only using it for a personal reason and you're not, like, sharing a passion, there's no intentionality behind it, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. I mean, it kind of would be like you having a home and you're not intentionally mindful of the things you're putting in your home. Like, you're just, like, letting things, like, I don't know, like a hoarder, or you're just, letting anyone in your home, or any type of thing. Like, it just, like, why? I guess people do that, but that's kind of far from my reality. But, like, I think it's just, like, you have to look at this as, this is the new way of connection. This is the new way of a world without borders. This is a new way where we can really outwit the government, where there is not a regulation yet that is saying we can't connect on that.
Colleen, did you just set outwit the government?
Yeah.
Dang, Napoleon Hill will be proud of you. From outwitting the devil to outwitting the government. You should write that book. Oh my gosh, this is such a multi-purpose conversation. I love that. I'm using this word from what you said, and I love your advice. I know you are super good to mentor others into their use of their social media, and I love what you just said. It's the front door of your house. Wow. So when you open it, what is in there, right?
Yeah, when you showcase yourself, right? Like, you want to be proud of who you are. I think this conversation sometimes, and not in a bad way, I think it's hard for me to kind of even take myself back because I've been doing this, like where I'm shifting. It's kind of hard for me to remember, like when people are like, I'm shy or I'm introverted, I don't want to share, but it's like, okay, but your life was given to you by God and you have a responsibility to give to God, like this life, what God has given you. God has given you life and you owe your life to God. Like you owe your life to be sharing, to be offering your passion, to be sharing your thoughts, like what's happening on the inside of you. There's a reason it's happening and you need to be sharing that with whatever it is. I don't care